Gandalf made several huge mistakes in The Lord of the Rings. And no, I'm not talking about how he should have used the eagles with Frodo, even though that's a completely valid move and I still don't know why he didn't do that. Gandalf had abilities that he never even used to fight. He could have dramatically changed the outcome of nearly all battles everyone in his group encountered. There are 4 major ways Gandalf's magic would have dramatically changed everything, and yes, he did affect a lot with the magic he did use, but he could have played his hand in a much better and wonderfully magnificent way and even become gloriously rich. That brings us to the first point, which is that Gandalf could have done so much more to affect both small skirmishes and large-scale battles. Hear me out here. Getting a little more specific, the terrible situation in Moria could have turned out completely different. The hobbits could have been saved from capture, and perhaps most importantly, the Battle of Helm's Deep didn't need to be nearly as devastating as it was. Now, of course, we do see some epic displays of his power when he's fighting the infamous Balrog, and he does use some dazzling light magic when he does eventually show up at the Battle of Helm's Deep. But he had the ability to do so much more and put an even better display of his supreme power. So what is the magic? You need to know it's a lot harder to pin down exactly what magic Gandalf can do because the magic system in Lord of the Rings is so soft and understanding the rules is difficult. But in this case, we have hard evidence of what he could have done to completely turn the tides, and at least those battles mentioned, and it would be absolute majesty to behold. The magic he should have used was fireworks. That's right.
Celebratory destruction.
We have hard evidence of some absolutely incredible magic that Gandalf can produce using fireworks. Even in the books, it is more impressive than the movie. A huge mountain with a lifelike dragon? So naturally, Gandalf should have brought a few fireworks along with him after leaving Rivendell. When they were being chased in Moria, he could have easily set one off to compel absolute terror and blaze a quick path out of the mountain. He might not have needed to face that Balrog at all.
Shall not pass!
And even if he did still need to fight that monstrosity, he could have given a few fireworks to everyone in the party. So when they're attacked on the beach, they could have used several fireworks that target and attack orcs, distracting and even setting some of them on fire. Then, of course, he could have used fireworks in the same way at Helm's Deep. Even Saruman used explosives. So Gandalf could have shown him who the true master and wielder of the Flame of Anor is,
with his majestic display of power.
All those orcs could have been set on fire with one firework,
and it would have looked absolutely stunning when he did it.
Now, obviously, the glaring problem here is that he might not have enough time or the right resources to make all those fireworks. It doesn't seem like he can just grab any old dirt off the ground and make some. That's a magic power in another universe. Anyway, on top of that, he honestly appears rather poor. So that batch of fireworks he brought to Bilbo's birthday could have taken a long time to make or forever to trade for, making them one of the most valuable presents Bilbo ever received at his party. But this is exactly the other major mistake. Gandalf never needed to be poor or lacking in resources. So even though he appears to have many resources afforded to him already in places like Rivendell, he could have actually made himself extremely rich. How? By making and selling magical fireworks. That's right. Gandalf's magic is the secret sauce that would have made him unbelievably wealthy. He could have been roaming the land selling his magical fireworks
and making an absolute enormous amount of money.
He could have worked out a deal with the dwarves to manufacture fireworks for him and export them to all the major cities. Then he could have had magical light shows in all those cities, making him filthy rich. So by the time he comes around to Rivendell to venture out with the Fellowship, he would have
absolute economic power
to fully kit out each of the party members with the most exquisite array of explosive weapons. And not just the party, but with his superior supply chain system, he could equip every army with an array of magic missiles. Just imagine throwing a dwarf that can explode. That's got to be worth a like and a subscribe, right? Okay, but this doesn't change everything, right? Frodo and Sam still needed to leave the group because of the ring's influence, and they couldn't just take fireworks with them because they were on a stealth mission. The problems they faced, like the giant spider and sneaking past so many groups of orcs, was super dangerous, and using fireworks would have only given away their position, right? Well, maybe not. The answer here is still magic fireworks, and using them for a distraction. Remember, these are super powerful magical fireworks. They can turn into things, chase things down, set stuff on fire. Who knows what else Gandalf could do with them? Also, some of them can have long fuses. And don't forget the
Incredible glory of their display.
So Frodo and Sam could have benefited a few times using something like, I don't know,
A giant dragon?
to stoke fear and distract enemies as they sneak by. But okay, maybe they don't really want to risk that big of a distraction because then the big old eye thing might look at them. And of course, that would be bad. But they could have used some smaller explosions here and there in a pinch, like maybe fighting a giant spider. Maybe they could have tossed a grenade at it and end that whole problem very quickly. These smaller explosions also wouldn't have been that distracting. They would have blended in with the natural chaos of the orc army. But aside from all those, there's one more massive way that Gandalf could have changed absolutely everything with his magic, even if he didn't give every army a full supply of magical fireworks. Yes, there is another way that he could have changed everything. Although, of course, like with everything, it would help if he were incredibly wealthy. The armies in Return of the King didn't need to suffer nearly as many casualties as they did, and of course, Helm's Deep wouldn't have been so heavily ravaged. So what could he have done?
The eagles are coming!
Eagles. No, don't worry, this isn't a theory about using the eagles to carry Frodo. No, he should have mounted a dwarf on each eagle and given them fireworks and grenades. Then yes, behold the creation of eagle stealth bombers raining beautiful destruction from the sky on unsuspecting orcs and Oliphants below. They would give every battle the most insane advantage and have absolute aerial dominance. Even if a Nazgul showed up, not only did we see eagles can go toe-to-toe with them, but Gandalf would have a special payload designed just for when they do show up. Not to mention, it would take them out with absolute stunning glory. So of course, the obvious approach would have been Gandalf leaning into his totally overpowered fireworks to dramatically alter the outcome of nearly every engagement. With all four of these scenarios combined, you get an ultra-powerful wizard with
Total economic domination.
and the industrial capacity to produce some of the most devastating and awe-inspiring weaponry that Middle-earth has ever witnessed. Not to mention, it would have completely changed the outcome of everything. But what do you think? What kind of crazy magical fireworks do you think he could have made? Anyway, if you enjoyed this ridiculous theory about the Lord of the Rings, then it would be awesome if you subscribed. And you might be interested in some other insane magical theories or guides in one of my other videos. Anyway, thanks for watching. Later.